Okay, so I'll just do a quick presentation on Robotron. It's a game. I don't know whether many of you have played the game or not. It's a robot shoot 'em up game. I only played it for about 10 or 15 seconds once a long time ago, and it sort of boggled me. I didn't spend much time on it and didn't play much of it. Nick, on the other hand, is Nick Westgate. This is his game. He's nuts about this game. He's got the arcade machine, and he's followed Robotron has been set up on all the different platforms, all the old platforms, whether it was Apple, whether it was Commodore 64, all the other ones. And he actually contacted the programmer, Steve Hayes, and disassembled Robotron. And what Nick's aim was to actually change the game back to how it was originally expected to be played. When Robotron was converted from arcade to the computer platforms, because most systems were single joystick, the controls actually went from 2 joysticks, which are on the arcade. One joystick does your movement control, up, down, left, right, and the other joystick does your fire, up screen, down screen, fire left, fire right. They got changed to the single hand controller, which is movement, and then hit the fire button and move in the direction that you want to fire. So it actually makes it play different, actually makes it feel different than the original developers of the game actually intended. So Nick disassembled the game and reprogrammed it on the Apple II. He contacted me because he did 2 things. He actually made it work with the 2 analog joysticks, two Apple joysticks, which needs a wire splitter, and he also programmed it for the 4-play card so it can be used with digital joysticks as well.
Oh my god. We had this exact argument in the 80s when it came out. I go, this is stupid. Why did I can't play this game right? I have to go use the arcade machine.
That's right.
This sucks.
It's totally
yeah, they said it only has 1 joystick. What do you mean this computer only has 1 joystick? It's got 4 axes on here. What's wrong with you? He fixed it 30 years later.
Finally fixed it. That's right. So Nick contacted me, and because he didn't have a 4-play card, he wanted to. So he programmed it and wanted me to test the 4-play functionality of it. Tribute to his programming and simplicity of the 4-play card, he got it right on first go. So as soon as I got the program, it worked, no problems at all.
That's cool.
Testament to documentation as well.
So I've had this set up. A few people have actually played it. I'll have it set up for the rest of the Oz KFest event as well. If you want to play the game, I'll have the 2 analog joystick, which I just created a splitter the last few days. I only tested it first thing yesterday, and that works perfectly as well. You've got the 4-play inside the 2GS running the 2 digital joysticks, and that works perfectly as well. So if you ever want to play the game now, as per the original developers intended to be played, it's here. Nick hasn't actually put it up online yet. He keeps meaning to put it out on Asimov. I'll have it up on my website. I can give anybody who wants a copy of it. So you can play it on Apple using the 2 formats, or you can run an emulator and use your gamepad to use the 2 analog sticks on gamepad to play it as well. So that's it for the presentation.
Cool.
Thank you.
Lightning.
Awesome.
Okay.
It's
I have that problem
in 2 lots. The
Coast Guard looking for people with boats.
I just wanted to break down a bit of history. About 4 years ago, I saw this on eBay, and it really resonated with me as to what it was and what it was used for. I just want to see if anyone, I'll sort of do a guess game. We'll go through some pictures and see if anyone can guess what the card is actually, what it actually is and what it's used for. This is the only commercial product of this type that I've actually seen photos of.
It's like your 4-play card. Is it a digital controller input?
No.
Is it a lightning input?
Sorry?
Lightning input?
No, it's not, no.
Oh, what?
Any clues? That's not a really good clue giver.
I'm just gonna be quiet because
You know what it is?
I know exactly what it is.
FCC,
Yes.
so some things to do with
Radio.
transmission, radio transmission.
Is it a
Your CPU is checked.
FM?
Radio modem or a really old one?
Okay.
78.
78, so this is old stuff.
Is it a peripheral?
39 years old.
There's a
Heuristic.
Oh,
robot.
wireless robots?
No, it's not actually wireless robots.
It can't run more than 50 feet though.
It's it's robot logo.
No,
No?
It's really hard to guess.
This is hilarious.
Oh, it's a steering wheel?
It's a steering wheel.
And forward reversal forward stop.
Is it a foot pedal to control things?
No, it's not.
You'd have to lean out to stick.
Very small feet.
Oh.
Oh, is it okay? Is it big?
Is it a turtle controller?
It looks like a drivetrain
Yeah, it does.
Look like Spurgeon.
and steering.
It's a remote control car.
Remote
something.
It
control.
is a remote control
Oh,
car.
car.
It's a remote control toy car
Oh.
that
Oh, wow, look at that.
Wow, using FM. That's why it had,
Using FM.
yeah,
I want to know whether
It's not
it's
even-
or AM,
It's got a s-
radio of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in 1978, this was a kit that was being used at a car dealership to display computer control of a vehicle. Now you can probably imagine the sales pitch sort of saying, salesman saying, there's your keys to your new car. If you come back in 10 years, we'll probably have a car that can drive you home.
Do you know which
40
dealership
years.
it was from?
Sorry?
Do you know what company, what dealership?
I don't know what car dealership was from, but it actually stumped me for a while. I thought this whole thing was a commercial set,
Yeah.
but it's actually not. What it is the car is from the company called Lukacz, so that's a remote control car,
Yep.
and the Apple II company that does Apple II products is Heuristics, and they do automation control. They've done home automation stuff.
Is that a cassette at the bottom
Yes.
there?
That is a
Yeah.
cassette,
So
yes.
the car's really small.
Oh, that's a good scale.
Yeah.
It's a fairly small toy car. So what? Going back to the first pictures. So this here is a relay card. So it's I've only seen one commercial relay card. This one, I've seen a few ones that have been done as home projects, but I've never seen a commercial one. What stumped me was the number of outputs. Number of these, 7. I couldn't work out. You've got up, down, left, right. Why do you need 7? I can think of 4, 5, 8, whatever. I couldn't think of why it needed 7. So what I actually did was I contacted the eBay seller, and I just wanted to find out some more information on the actual card. I wanted to know how this card worked and why that was there. It just stumped me. So there's a cassette there for heuristics. The program on there does. It's not joystick. Sorry, that there is just an automated sequence that's done. Whether it's a robot, whether it's a remote control vehicle, it just runs the car in a certain set. So you don't have any joysticks attached to it. It just runs the car around in a set pattern.
So does Antoine have a copy of that cassette on his tapes?
When I looked at this, that's the first thing I went to. I went to the archives, and it wasn't there. So I needed a few things. I needed to work out how the board works. I needed the software, and I need a remote control car to be able to replicate something like this. And that's exactly what I did. I went to the archive and it wasn't there. It was only about 2 years after that actually the copy did come into it. So Heuristics were the company that do the actual...
Did you just look again in 2 years, or?
Yeah, I kept looking every few months to see whether it was up. That's exactly what I did.
Refresh, and what did you do? Die when you saw it? Oh my god!
Yeah, well, imagine that day you saw it. You looked like for 2 years.
What got me was that Heuristics was labelled all over the car.
Yeah.
All over the car there, all over the remote control. You can see the remote control. So I thought all of this was all heuristics until I worked out what it actually was. That they had actually modified their card and wired it into the car controller. And just going on a bit of great marketing people. This is typical of the era. This car's got 5 functions, so normally you think of a car like that having forward, reverse, left, right. So what do you think the 5th function is?
Headlamps.
Sorry.
Standing still, not doing anything. That's their 5th function.
No way!
It's got a hidden function. You don't
So
know about. Does it actually
actively
say?
specify.
It actually
is
says-
exactly.
That's right, that's a function.
Maybe it's a transformer. Maybe it actually stands up.
More than meets the eye.
So this is like the top of the. This was actually for 1977. This was an awesome car. Like it had batteries. It had rechargeable batteries. I remember cars when remote control actually meant having a cord attached to the back of the car. So going, from the end of the 60s into the 70s, having this sort of car. This was sort of the top of the toy sort of market. So I contacted the seller, and he was kind enough to send me the bottom part of the board. So now I had everything to produce the board with about 20-30 bucks. This set was on eBay for just under 1,000 Australian dollars.
Oh!
And
That's why you didn't buy it.
I would have loved to have purchased it, but it was just too much for this sort of.
It was too much for your wife to understand.
Yep.
So I worked out that that's the 7 there. I couldn't sleep until I worked it out. So that's it for part 1, sort of a guessing game, and now we go to 2. So relay cards sort of were popular up until about 85 when power transistors sort of took it over. When I did a lot of the Lego stuff, I saw all the ads, and there was lots of ads for relay cards for the Atari systems and like the big relay for the Commodore 64. But after 85, you just didn't see any relay cards for sale anymore. It was all power stuff, and especially like the Lego stuff that you've seen before. That was like 86 stuff. So I've lost my mouse here now.
It's on the projector screen.
It's on the back screen.
Oh, that's why. Maybe
How do I
scroll to
Far
Go
right,
to your
far
little,
left.
go the other way?
left.
Yeah.
One way or the
Oh,
other.
go the other way.
Yeah.
No, still haven't got. Is it down or up?
Just hit the margin
On
there.
the
so
margin, right hand margin. Go.
Other side.
There it is.
Far left at the top.
So keep
Far
going
left?
left.
At the
Far
top.
left.
At the top.
Keep going left.
In the middle.
There we
Okay,
go.
it should be on your other
Rebel
screen
backseat
now.
drivers here.
That worked.
Okay, so checkpoint part 2.
Our chat's gone off the wall.
Oh, it's gone to sleep.
Like Andrew.
What's the nationality on the surname?
Polish.
Okay. Can you give me a proper Polish pronunciation? Because I've been saying Lukacz.
Me too.
Is that terrible?
Yeah, no, it's fine. I reckon.
Okay.
Generous of you, Jason.
Yeah, thanks.
So this eBay auction sort of resonated with me. I've always been fascinated with toy cars ever since I can remember being about 9 or 10, and we had a Civic Centre, and that was there was an event held at Civic Centre. There was a big sort of truck that came past. This would have been 1980 or 81, something like that. It had a big jet engine out the back and the flames coming, and it didn't really interest me. Didn't interest me all that much. What I was interested in the sideshow, and that was a fully blown, real-size police car, remote control police car. So it all had analogue controls in it, and there was a policeman sort of controlling it. So it resonated with me. I was after the kit, but unfortunately it was a bit too much. So yeah, in terms of what it sort of represented, if we can think of having toys, Hero's engine was developed about 100 AD.
Yes.
So it only took them about 1600 years to take that principle and turn it into the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, right.
The toy car sort of, to me, sort of represents early computer control, like the 70s, and what we sort of feel today. We've just got all of that wireless stuff all around us. So in terms of what that means to us, it's like we see the superconductor show, and what we think of in terms of what will this become our future. So that Apple II remote control car in 1978 was being used as a conversation starter in a car dealership. It just had pre-configured movements, so it didn't have any joystick controls. It was 4-position, well, 5-position if you go by the advertising, which was the upper end of the toy car market. Not the I say toy car market when you buy toy remote control cars, as opposed to your hobby class, which is your relay sort of based. You have your relays, you have your car, you can customise the suspension, the wheels, all that kind of stuff. So that's more your hobby sort of grade. So this is sort of the upper end of the toy class market, this remote control car. Like, this is a time when they were still loading the software by tape, so you can imagine someone coming into the car dealership each morning and taking whatever it was, 15 minutes, half an hour to start this program up in the morning. So 1977, 78, the majority of the public wouldn't have seen what a home computer was at this stage. To somebody entering the car dealership would have been a spectacle for them to see this computer controlling a remote control car. It would have been like it would have been a glimpse into their future. It would have been like them watching the Jetsons right before their eyes. Coming back to 2017, the same demonstration now. If you took it into a shopping centre, wouldn't be a head turner anymore. The only part of the head turning would be, what the hell are you doing with a 40-year-old computer? So how can we turn this into something more practical? First, we'll try and reproduce the initial concept. So this is the start of my game. So the first thing to do is to reproduce that relay card. So that's what I did from the specification, from the schematic. I just made it instead of being a 4-bit, this is an 8-bit. So this sort of resonates really well. You type in a whole bit and you can access all the 8 ports.
Very tight. Computer on, turn it on.
It's actually on, is it?
Hang on.
So glad you said
We had enough
It's sort of alive.
I saw the look on his head. I knew where his hand was going and where it wasn't going.
I had literally no idea that this even existed or was possible,
I didn't know either.
that you could control anything like that. I would definitely stop at Westfield and be like, what? How is that doing that? And I'd be like, oh, I could too.
Well, the thing is, it's a 40-year-old computer doing it, and they go, oh, okay, well, Yeah, this could have been done 40 years ago.
Then why are you here doing this? What the?
Someone's chatting.
It's Jeff and Mark.
Well,
BGA approved it.
I haven't seen this email yet.
So does that mean that you don't need to buy a proprietary kind of FM card?
Yep, you just wire the card into
It's physical switches.
any controller. So that was the three things that I needed. I needed the schematic to reproduce the card. Two, I needed the software to work out how that worked, how heuristics were doing that, and three was to purchase a vehicle. I could have just gone and bought any old thing from the shops, but I thought if I could get away with it, why not go with something that resonated with me more.
Smoky in the Bandit.
We all, I'm sure we all, like the age of us all, we're all sort of that era where I'm sure we would have loved to talk to a talking transam or would take a
You know they redid it, but there was something like
Yes.
one season.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It was pretty
Oh,
bad.
the first, like, I didn't really get into the original,
Yeah.
but at least it was very, like, camped up.
Yeah.
But, like, that remake is so bad.
I made myself watch all of the remake.
Oh my god. No, I'm not a completist like that.
You got into it. I got into it. You got it. Who's it going to take out?
Just watch out, Daniel. The tripod's just behind you, mate.
Yeah.
We're going to
That's
break
the
it.
coolest thing.
That's retro wireless.
only going forward.
Well, it's turning. It is turning. Do you want it back here?
Yeah, it's not even going backwards.
This is the Rube Goldberg contraption of trying to run the car when you could have just used the controller.
It did turn.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
flashing lights, Christopher.
Yeah, it does. There you go. So in addition to being programmed, it's also live controllable
Yes,
through the Apple II.
yes.
Nice.
just thought
So
you'd
again,
say that.
that's probably 5 minutes of fun. What can we do better? So here's one that I prepared earlier. So why just go for normal control when we can have video control?
Oh.
And you can see the video camera there, done by Jason at last Oz KFest.
No, no.
I have two of them running around.
I bought two. I was hoping to have two-player game, but I didn't have enough time to change the frequency on one. They both run on the same frequency, so it was easier just to do it
Put 'em in a-
one for now.
Put them exactly so far apart from each other and let them mirror each other.
The toy stuff's still got a
coordinated driving.
a sizable distance.
Sorry.
I think the battery's flat because that's just.
It's going nuts.
I think the.
That's the standstill function.
Here we go. I'm going to reboot this.
Reboot it.
Is that
Yeah.
Dukes and does it?
Yeah.
Must be, yeah.
There you go. Is that one of the functions to play that
It's one of the
sound?
functions, yes.
Yeah, because you've got 8 now.
This set here is more than the normal 4. Your forward, reverse, left and right. These cars have got slow forward as well, and they've got the horn. So you can hook them up to 2 extra functions, like if you only want left, back, left, right, back, forward, you can hook up 2 other sort of outputs to them, and they can do whatever you want them to do.
I brought a video into my car.
You see his presentation.
What do you have?
He's talking about Hero's steam machine. Steam type.
I would always prefer a black border.
Yeah, there's some ways doing it.
Oh, you
It's a key colour.
Translated in English called
It's-
Okay. Wind powered.
Oh, this will work. Is that pass through?
Hand cranked all fascinating.
Yeah, why not?
We
There's something going on.
Something's
Something's going on.
No.
No, they had the same
So
brand as
what
us.
actually did was, have I
They had
got
the
the
same
other?
brand as us. Yeah, the number evolved from there.
I don't have them here. What I actually did is I didn't want to actually destroy the cage, the windows and put the camera in there. So what I actually did is I scanned the, I took the car apart and actually scanned the mould of the actual window part. And if you guys have done 3D printing, scanning and 3D printing is another whole new ball game.
Scanning's a nightmare.
I know, it is. First of all, I tried it with a Digibot scanner, the MakerBot scanner, and it didn't turn out as well as the Autodesk remake. What I ended up doing is having to paint it, obviously it didn't like the black, so I had to paint it white and actually take 50 photos of the actual model at different locations. Then you run it through their software and it generates the model. So what you see down the bottom corner there is not a photo, it's actually the 3D model. You can spin that model around and that's the quality that actually makes. So Dean actually did the 3D printing for me. We got it spot on the second print of the 3D printer. So
which bit's 3D printed on that?
The windows, the
windows.
yeah. So you can see the bottom left. It's the bottom shell. It's
The
actually
inside shell.
inside shell.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's actually cracked along the front there, and if I was to cut it the way that I wanted to, it just would have been a mess. I didn't want to destroy the original, so it was easier just to do a 3D sort of thing out of that. So had all this working, and it was only 15 grams extra added with the actual. This is the camera, the regulator, just the connections and the transmitter with a switch. That all only came to 15 grams. The problem was when I actually started running the camera with the actual vehicle, there was too much noise coming from the motors and it actually drops the transmitter out. So I actually added a battery like you've done in your Wi-Fi project to actually separate the signals, and that works a lot better. So all of this, why do we need an actual computer? I could take the controller, I can take a small video LCD screen with me, and I can do that in the park. Why do we need to do this through the computer? And there's 2 advantages. One, if you want the computer controlling the vehicle, or 2, if you want to do overlays in terms of a game. So that's the second one that we'll be dealing with.
I wonder how you doing that.
So to do that,
Oh, you do have video overlay.
so we need to do that through the video overlay card.
It wasn't in his
Inspired?
it wasn't in his computer yet. I'm like, that's a good
Yeah.
one. Where's the video overlay card?
Gets turned off.
Off. Don't see the hand where it's supposed to be, you're gonna get yelled at.
Is that ROM 3 or?
So a lot of work just running.
Okay, so it has to go in slots. It's very.
Unless you
This is
modify
the
it.
stuff that's
Can you modify it? Can you go in any slot?
Just run
What's
the
that be coolest you can do?
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Next
The
step
pin's
is
not
running.
used on the others.
Yeah.
Apple II controlled.
Well, that seems
Pro.
silly, the
no.
fact that they didn't do it in the first place, doesn't it?
What happens when
Oh,
you
wait, are you... Is it like a grid-based game and you steer
Sit-
the
sit
car left
there.
and right?
Just
Build
on
a
the
game?
It's called augmented reality, isn't that what it's called?
Sort of, yeah, video overlay reality.
This sort of stuff
You see from
we saw on-
the front of the car, you can drive the car around.
I don't know about you guys.
FPV augmented reality.
So,
Did that card actually sell for $1,000, Alex?
On Hollywood.
Sorry?
Did it actually sell for $1,000?
I didn't sell, no.
No,
Just the original NR kit.
Not yet.
no.
Yeah, it is.
Hang on, just need a...
A2R kit.
Someone just grab a composite cable, I just need to... Problems at signal. I'm just... all on my desk. There's one on my desk.
We've stolen you.
stealing Steve's.
Yeah, no worries.
Just so you know, Rudy.
On your right, Alex.
Thank you.
I don't think people realise how cool the overlay sound is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's underused. I was really happy to actually... I've had it for a while, and I've been really happy to actually find a good use for it.
I used it in primary school. That was the first time I used it. We did this rocket fire. You know, it was cool.
When it came out, I took the Dragon's Lair disc with the Pioneer 4000 player hooked up to the tool set on the Hyper Studio, and was using video really hard to play Dragon's Lair with the scores overlaid on the screen.
Okay. That should have worked then. I'm just wondering whether...
Key colour, maybe.
no, I've got black. I think it might be... I'll have to make the card.
Your card.
Yeah. Do you need any lights on?
Try that.
Well, VOC doesn't give you those. It doesn't. I need to be in slot 3. It's going to be slot 7.
Is it a different slot, is it? I can't remember. I thought it was slot 3.
I mean...
The wire come with.
Yeah, why broke?
Oh.
You don't have to be
There
clear.
goes. Yep.
Does someone want to stand here for the next...
We'll just grab that remote
Where's
control.
that being generated from?
Or we can actually... I can go through the rest of the presentation and then...
Just twitch it together. What
Button twist.
hang on.
Anyone got an alligator clip?
No, I've got to strip it. I've got to strip
Yeah,
it.
you do have to strip it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Hang on. Yeah, I'll fix it. I'll get a soldering iron and fix it.
I can see it.
Bring it
No, we can have
arrive.
we have 5 minute break. Chat to these people.
Well, it's better if... Look, it's going to be better if I just fix it, yeah.
I think you have to tell everyone you've made it a drone controlled by Apple II.
It's the exact same camera. They're about $15,
Yes.
and
It's awesome.
they're awesome.
I'm very impressed.
The transmission... what's that?
Box. It's just.
It's back.
I think it's just the
Yeah,
interference
it's cutting out a little bit.
because it's.
Bring it forward. It
Is
was
it 5 gigahertz?
Uh,
2.4.
No, it's the same. It's the same channel as your Wi-Fi. When I
It's
first
2.4.
yeah, when I first turned it on, my wife was watching Netflix and my kid was watching YouTube, and both of them lost everything.
was being the key word.
Actually, I think it's 5 gigahertz, but a lot of Wi-Fi is 5 gigahertz now. Yeah. It's got a really short antenna.
Yeah, these are a cheap transmitter and receiver as well. They're only Toy Story grade. They're only quite small. So, yes. So to do overlay, say run test timer. No. Okay. It's a lot harder to see because I've just got the overlay in basic at the moment. So what it really needs is to have it done in graphics where you've got a background and the font on top of that, which will give it that contrast. At the moment, I haven't had time enough. Yeah, so we've got a video camera there in the remote control vehicle, and we've got a timer here going, and that's the start of a game.
Okay.
So in terms of writing a game, what else would we actually need to do this game? And that would be the car has to actually give you some feedback as to where it actually is positioned. So one way you could do that is satellite control, but that's not what we're going to see here tonight. That's a bit more complex.
Time till midnight.
You see, you get a GPS receiver for free in your iPhone. This is the sort of stuff that Mike Westerfield's been doing with robotics and stuff like that. So you just strap your iPhone in there and you get the GPS coordinates from that.
It has to be quite quick as well, so I didn't have time to test all these things out, so I had to find something really simple. If you've ever had or played with these books, you would, in 1978 or early 80s, you would have done it by running wires everywhere. Now, this is not the early 80s, this is 2017, so the way that we do things is wirelessly. So the next step to actually determine where the car actually is, what we can do is we can use the 4-play card as input, and we can wire the Wi-Fi 3266 modules to be checkpoints. So I used Wi-Fi as a wireless thing. I could have used Bluetooth or RF or any one of the dozens of technologies that are out there. But I just wanted to play with these modules, so it was just like you guys are going to be using it for your Wi-Fi serial things tomorrow. I just wanted to play with these things and work out and play and see what they did. So I used them in this project to give me my locations. So all that is the main one there picking up the signal. Is the more expensive version of the Wi-Fi 3266. I think they're only about $6 compared to $2 or $3 for the ones that you guys will be using tomorrow. And that was actually pretty easy to configure. These actually just have more pins out than the cheaper ones. That's why they're the same chip, but they just have more output pins and input pins. So if I now hook up the Wi-Fi card, not sorry, the turn it off.
4-play Wi-Fi card. 1,
2, 3, 4.
Put the light on.
Should be alright.
Can you unsleep my laptop, please?
Can I what?
Unsleep it. Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks, mate.
So I could have used any input card, but why not use a card that's really easy to use and I can plug?
Well documented, well supported.
Well,
Did-
Nick
did
didn't
you
find
get response from
any
the
problems
developer?
with using it to program Robotron. Antoine's done a load runner conversion using it.
Something's not right. Those cards aren't right. They check to see who's not straight here. They're not straight from this angle.
As in the vertical thing?
One of them's crooked in the slot. All right, it's
Sitting
it's
on
better
the front
now.
on the back, you mean?
No, one of them.
It's slightly,
Yeah,
okay. Cool,
yeah,
thanks.
that looks much better.
Yeah, cool.
So that is the DB9 as a joystick going into the 4-player, but it's actually a Wi-Fi transmitter.
Correct, yes. So just as you would read a joystick, you can read the Wi-Fi card. All I've got is a Wi-Fi card sending back digital signals. That's
XYZ, the signal from the car. See,
Is that good enough?
miniature GPS in it.
So if we take, so all I've done with these modules, that's your Wi-Fi 3266 little module there, so I've just done a breaker board to it, and this, you can trigger it via a normal switch. I've just bought one of these for about $2, and they're a infrared one. They shine a signal and it tells you whether there's anything nearby. So you plug that in into a battery pack, and there's your checkpoint station right there.
So it senses when the car drives past it.
Past it, correct.
Or the mouse runs past it or whatever.
Probably need to reboot that thing now, I'm not quite sure.
For the boat, it's not even on.
So wait, sorry, they're clients
It's,
to keep
Oh,
the
it's not
car
on, is
in the
it?
bounds or something?
Well, you put a relay course, and you have to get from here to here to here, but the way you knew you got there is you drove the car past the thing.
All right, it'll make sense when I see it.
So you'll get a score when the car goes past the thing, because the computer's keeping track of the score.
Oh.
And you're driving the car virtually, because you're looking out the front window of the car with the computer.
So as it passes over, it registers a.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Motion, just infrared motion detector.
I thought it would stop the car, like those little robot vacuums.
No, it's not a roadblock.
So all the control is done by the computer, so the computer determines whether that car goes or stops. It's programmed.
You see
There it goes. Let's just try to...
Video went.
I think it's his bum. It's absorbing,
Oh yeah, no, it probably
absorbing the
is.
signal.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
So you can see a little blue light up there. Every time car goes past, that
Oh, yeah.
little blue light should come on.
Yeah.
So there's your feedback mechanism. Okay, so what else do we need to generate a game? Okay, while we've got that, it's a lot easier at this stage for me to actually, instead of doing analog control, to actually use joystick control. because the car has got forward, reverse, left and right, it's a lot easier to use a digital joystick because it's got up, down, left and right. Here you can actually see the analog code to control the vehicle, and here's the digital code to control the vehicle. So anyone has a guess which one's actually going to be faster? Yeah, there's it's just in this application there's just there's no comparison. Hardware-wise as well, an analog joystick runs through the 5x5 timer. It uses capacitors to actually determine the time. The digital joystick, all it's dependent on is digital signal. So as quick as your chips are, you've got the feedback there. So it actually a lot quicker and better feel to, especially because I've only got this written, a lot of this in BASIC so far. The joystick's not working because the program's not running it.
Something's crashing the video signal.
It's probably...
Yeah, we'll try and work that out in a minute. There's one thing here, the digital code should have been just peak the joystick byte and poke it into the relay, because I've aligned the up, down, left, right with the up, down, left, right of the joystick. But there's a -32 here. Just one thing that is something quite cool about the 4-play card that I don't know whether you guys know, is that when Jesse was writing Kaboom, he actually wanted to determine what slot the 4-play card was actually in, and I told him that I wasn't going to add ROM card to the 4-play, wasn't going to add ROM to the 4-play card, so he could do that. So I had to come up with another way that he could actually test where the 4-play card was in which of the slots, and the way that we did that is by adding, sacrificing one of the input bits to let me start again on that one. Here are the addresses. I did a peek to show you what my addresses were for all the cards, slot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 7. You can see the 4-play card is in slot 2, because all we have to do is look for read the first 4 bytes of each of the cards and determine whether they're 20, 20, 20, 20. We're assumed that when the 4-play card starts up, the computer starts up, that there's nobody using the joysticks, so the default values are going to be 0 for the triggers and 0 for the up, down, left and right. We could have had the whole string of zeros, but a byte of 0 isn't a really good way to identify something, so we had to sacrifice a bit to actually have that byte that wasn't 0. So that's why you get 4 20s in the row there. When you go along and read all those slots, you find 4 20s. That then tells you which slot the 4-play card is actually in. Because we've got this one here, this is what the byte is actually read from the joystick, and we're transferring that exact byte to the relay card for the card. Now, if we left this one bit in, that would keep turning the relay on and off. So to not do that, you -32 from the number to actually keep the other bytes, but take that byte away. That was just a sort of side note there. Right, so getting back to the actual game, what we actually need in a game is sound. Now, I'm not a very good musician, really quite bad actually, so the easiest way for me was to use another underutilised card, and that was the A2 MP3 card to do all my sounds.
I was going to jokingly say you're going to need more cards when you put the third one in.
So, again, another part of the system to try and get
Only
working.
got 74.
That card looks different to MP3 card. Is that his
This is
real
just a
card or is that a different card?
That's because
Modified.
that normally gets stuck onto that card there.
Right. Okay.
And unfortunately Vince is not operational, well, he's not selling the cards anymore. So my other option was to borrow a card, or what I actually did is I met Vince in 2012 and I actually got this part from him to build the Bluetooth, prototype Bluetooth thing that I did on Kansas Fest 2012. So I had this board here, attached to my serial Bluetooth device, but I didn't have this bit. So luckily this bit is still available from your RS components or your Element 14. And so I was able to purchase that and set up the A2MP3. Unfortunately, Vince decided to make a few improvements, and I purchased the next model up, which has got the upgraded chip, which is supposed to be plug-in replaceable. Plugged it in, it wasn't replaceable. And that was because Vince increased the speed. He wrote his own firmware, so he had the Music 2 module. He improved the firmware so that it ran a lot quicker. It didn't run the default 9600 board, and there was a modification so that you didn't have to use the I think it was the carrier signal as well. So to actually get this working, I had to modify the A2MP3 software a little bit, and I had to make a slight modification to the other board.
This is turning into quite a bit of effort.
Makes for a good story.
So I've got stuff pre-programmed up. So that's it for all the cards, that's it for all the hardware. The game engine is just the program that's written. It's obviously, you would have guessed by now that it's like the classic driving arcade games that you get, where you've got to go from point A to point B, going through certain checkpoints within certain time restrictions. The game is just controls all of that together. It brings the relay card, the joystick, the keyboard inputs, the sound, the game clock, all of that together into a game to make it sort of like an outrun sort of arcade game. Currently, it's most of it's written in Applesoft Basic just to get it all the parts going. I've got to rewrite a lot of it more to make it more user friendly and display a lot better. We need a few props as well. So,
yeah.
So
That gate doesn't look very wide.
You've got to be a good driver.
So I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know where we're going to be able to set this up. The infrared detectors that I got don't work very far. I should have gone for a bit more time and did some laser stuff. Obviously, you got to build all the checkpoints at the right size and have light dependent relays. I just didn't have enough time to get that going. So we'll see how we go with the checkpoint stations. So I've got a few bits and pieces to set that up.
So just going back a couple of steps, the A2 MP3 card, using it as a background track or using it for certain sound effects?
We'll see. I'll run the game in a sec, and we'll see.
What will be revealed?
Yes. So let's give it a go. Actually, I need some sound. So
Speakers.
yes.
There's those ones
Grab
underneath.
those. Yeah, I'll grab those speakers.
I was older than the computer.
You've got the,
Yeah, I'll see how
3.5 inch.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Or is there a second tab over there? Yeah.
Mm.
So if you'd named the basic program startup, it would have run.
Yeah, you do a lot of typing. He knows how to shortcut to all that. Amazing.
Why didn't that run? No device connect.
No song selection.
We used this computer to do some other stuff. I'm just trying to set it up how it was before.
Can anyone ever make like a jukebox app or something for that MP3 card? It'd be real cool.
Okay, so we've got the main screen. It says ready, set, goes. And we've got music. There's a countdown timer here. We've got 10 seconds to get to the next level. We're not going to make it, so...
Who was that?
Enid, the sheriff,
Yeah, Sheriff's caught up with him.
Roscoe P. Coltrane.
For some reason, these trying.
So why this down?
Because the infrared checkpoints.
Oh, infrared. Still too slow.
Is it still
Yes.
too low? Do we need to
No, that's okay. That's working there. So we've got 1, station 2, and station 3. Cool.
We actually want to see you drive your car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all.
It's not that easy.
No, it's like he's going to just put paper in front of it. We want to see his driving
So it's
skills.
going through stage 1. It goes to the next music track.
That is so cool.
Lost.
Okay, and you've done it within 35.1 seconds. So that's how it works. So I don't know whether
That is awesome.
Clear the chairs.
Ah, that is awesome.
So I've got some of these which I prepared earlier. Let's see if
There's a big table up the end there. I reckon we go around the table.
We have to,
Everybody has to get up and move.
let's see if we can.
You can drive onto this stuff, come on.
Give us some more space.
Oh, the problem is controlling the car with the previous. It's not to move it with the joystick on the right. If the joystick control it, I'll let you move.
Sorry?
The joystick control it, I'll let you drive the car.
While the game's on, yes.
That's the whole thing.
Stop.
Oh, cool. Oh my god.
You're supposed to.
Watch the monitor.
Okay. So as soon as the time runs out, the joystick stops working, obviously,
Yeah, because you can't.
because you can't continue. So let's see if I can.
Someone fix that line in the code just so it works for the hell of it. But you still lose.
Still is. You're still driving off.
Leave it, let it drivable anyway, so you bring it back and start it over.
Yeah.
But we don't have to go get the car.
You drive off into the grass and keep going.
So this might take me a few minutes.
Just stand